What's up, everybody? This is Live with Jay, number 136. Reverse, right home. What's up with y'all? Hopefully, everybody's doing good out there. We're gonna talk about a few things. It's a hot day in the Bay today, bro. It's hella hot in the Bay today. Unusually hot. Pluto UFW. You guys heard the rumors about supposed Cesar Chavez? We'll talk about that too. But yeah, man. So what's up with everybody? Who's that? But yeah, Live with Jay, number 136. Been about a week since I've been on here. Kicking back in the parking lot. Chilling. Dropping my location. See if more people get on. We'll do this live. We'll do it live, I say. Chilling. What's up? What's up, Dubad? I'm out here kicking back today. It was a nice day in the Bay Area today. It was hot, warm. I'm sure the valley was probably hot too. How was it out there, Chris? It was warm out here. It was like 80 degrees out here today. Went to the gym earlier. I have to get back to the gym. I hadn't went in like 3 weeks, and I started feeling a little out of shape. So I need to get my fat ass in shape. Am I hot? Not at the present moment, but I was earlier. It was hot as shit. Who's Mochila? What do you mean Mochila? I don't have a mochila. I have a bag in the back, but it's a pizza bag. So what's up? Yeah, but it's been kind of warm today. It's been really warm. I tell people with shorts, it's feels like summertime, and it's technically still winter. Ain't the winter over like a couple in a few days, or is it over already? Is it spring yet, or is it winter? I don't know. I thought it was still winter though, and it's 80 degrees outside. Try not now. You should walk around in underwater. Check it. Is that little Adrian? Is that Adrian Adonis? Somebody tried to hit up my comment section on a video I did from Sacramento, and he must have not watched the video because I said that my brother used to live on a street, and I showed the street when I lived there. My brother lived in a separate house because he had gotten kind of his shit together for a little bit, and he had. It's not hot right now. My brother used to live at this house, and I showed it in the video. It was one of the barrio tours I did in Sac, and some dude hit me up today saying, "You never lived in that house. I never seen you around." I'm like, bro, I'm not from Sacramento, and I never said I lived in that house. I said my brother lived there. So, weird messages to people. People must not really listen to what I'm saying on the videos. I clearly say it. My brother used to live in that house. I'm trying to hit me up. Like, oh, you're not from. I'm not from Sac. I never said I was. I'm from the Bay. I'm from Oakland. But yeah, let's get that straight for anybody out there. I'm not from Sacramento. No issue with the 916, but I'm not from there. On him. The 30s, dirty 30s. My brother from the 30s used to live at that house. But yeah, man. In the 30s. I was in the 30s not that long ago. But no, it's not that hot outside, bro. It's warm. It is warm. It's not cold like it normally is out here. Normally, it would be like, at least around this time, at least around this time, I'm not from anywhere. I'm from Fruitvale, not Fruitvale gangsters. I'm from the Fruitvale district. I lived on East 7th Street when I was a kid, a little bit as a teenager. Lived in the 30s for a while. I lived all over. Just like I lived all over the Bay. I lived in Sac too, so I'm from everywhere. This fool thinking I'm talking about gangs. No, I'm from the Fruitvale area. But I've lived all over the place, so I'm from everywhere, I guess. I lived in the East Bay, around the East Bay. I lived in the North Bay. I lived in Sac. No gangsters here, bro. I'm just me. Hey, BT, all brothers together. But yeah. But anyway, let's talk about, I guess, the elephant in the closet. So, Shortcuts had asked me this earlier. There was I guess, allegations that are being brought up against Cesar Chavez, and we'll talk about that. I mean, I read a couple of articles and I've seen a couple videos, but there's just allegations. There's not who, what, where. It's just something happened, and there's not really no info. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. Um, I guess when more info comes out, I'll have a better opinion on it because I don't know. But um, what's up, Joe Mama? But like I've made videos, and before I say what I'm gonna say, I'm not excusing any type of behavior. I'm not excusing anything in the past. You know what I mean? So I don't want to hear Jose is excusing older men with younger girls. You know what I mean? No. What I'm saying is, what I'm about to say is that if you guys watched my video a while back, this is this is a coral colored shirt, like a summer color. I got a red shirt though, but I got a blue shirt too. But I made a video about this in the past, and then unfortunately, men of the past used to mess around with younger girls a lot. That's and a lot of men used to take advantage of women back in the days. Not to say they don't anymore, but in the old days they did a lot. And there was, a lot of arguments of why that was. Back in the day, yeah, it's coral. It's like kind of a pinkish reddish color. But in the old days, like it was in the music. Songs used to sing about underage girls, fucking Elvis Presley and Jerry Lee Lewis and Ted Nugent and various others slept with underage girls back then, like knowingly, and then this was in the news and the media back then, and no one did shit. Sadly, at that time, stuff like that was very common and people got away with it. So it wouldn't surprise me if Cesar Chavez did something suspect, but because there's no real info on it, I don't know. I don't have an opinion until some info actually comes out. You feel me? So, it is what it is, and I mean, look at Martin Luther King. Didn't they try to say that there's files on Martin Luther King, like cheating on his wife and taking advantage of women in his organization? I mean, I've heard that too about him. I've heard suspect things about Huey Newton before. Look at Malcolm X. Malcolm X is not Malcolm X himself, but one of the reasons Malcolm X kind of became outcasted in the Nation of Islam or Black Muslim organization was because, he was a very hardcore member of that organization. And, the leader of that organization at that time was Elijah Muhammad. It wasn't, what's the guy who's the leader of it today? Farrakhan. Not back then, it was Elijah Muhammad. And then you know, Malcolm X had become enamored with Elijah Muhammad's teachings, and Elijah Muhammad actually had some pretty good teachings. A lot of things he said were true, if you look at it. But uh, Malcolm X left the Nation of Islam because Elijah Muhammad turned out he was sleeping around with women in the organization, taking advantage of young women. I don't know if they were underage. That I can't remember. I could look that up to see if it was that when I get a chance, and maybe I'll correct it next time. But I know that he slept with a lot of women in the organization, got them pregnant, and then he banished a lot of those women from the organization. And Malcolm X at first thought it was a smear campaign, then he investigated and he found out it was true, and he became disillusioned with Elijah Muhammad, and that's why he left the Nation of Islam. So these kind of things were common back then. So my point being is that if there was something suspicious that comes out about Cesar Chavez, it wouldn't surprise me, unfortunately. It just wouldn't. Kind of sucks that a Latino leader is being thrown under the bus, especially at this time with so many fucking racist motherfuckers that are against our people and trying to smear our people and destroy our people's legacy. It's sad, but what can you do, man? Another thing you got to take into account with a lot of people from those times, and then I don't know if Cesar Chavez would be part of this, but there was a lot of during those times that was like the hippie movement. You know what I mean? There was a hippie movement. There was a lot of people were going by free love, which was like basically exploring your sexuality, and that was like a big thing back then. So obviously a lot of men took advantage of that, and a lot of women were falling for that too. So but that doesn't fly anymore. Look at the last person who tried to use the free love thing, that whole esoteric thing, like our sexual energy are together and as one and it's tantric, blah blah blah. The last dude who tried to say that was that dude Choloani, Iron Jackoff, that guy. And look at how it turned out for him. But yeah, man. But there was a lot of things in those times, man. Unfortunately, a lot of men from those times did questionable things with women, and it's sad. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that men of today got to pay for that, because we get blamed for the actions of what people did back then. Like, they try to throw all men under the bus, and I don't think that's right, because we're not all PDF files. We're not all fucking taking advantage of women. We're not all doing fucked up things. You know what I mean? Marvelous is another one, but that's more modern. I'm talking about old people, old times. But yeah, Choloani and Marvelous, it's crazy that Marvelous is the one that exposed Choloani or Iron Jackoff, or whatever his fucking name was. But yeah, or he was at least one of the ones that exposed him. And look at how it turned out. So, unfortunately, these things were common. Now, Owen Thomas, I even forgot his name. But what I was gonna say is poetical say. What I was gonna say is it's a lot of like feminists and like people that are in the Me Too movement. I mean, there's a valid. Camille was grabbing some. Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, there's some comedian, right? I don't, or somebody, that dude. I heard them talking about him. I don't know who he is, to be honest with you. But yeah, it turned out he's a PDF file, supposedly, what people are saying. So, or did he admitted it? Something like that. So yeah. But what was I gonna say? A lot of feminists say that, and like Me Too movement type of people that were into those movements, they say that there's a lot of toxic masculinity. Well, I agree that there is toxic masculinity, but at the same time there is toxic femininity too. You're not going to tell me that there aren't women that aren't toxic as well. You know what I mean? There's men that are toxic. But that's not everybody. You can't throw everybody under the fucking bus, because not everybody's the same. You know, that's where a lot of these movements and a lot of these people, this is where people lose interest in supporting them because they want to throw everybody under the bus for the action of a couple of pendejos. You know what I mean? And that ain't right. That ain't right. You know, not just feminism, just in general. You know what I mean? It's just like that. Like we'll all get blamed because one illegal immigrant or undocumented immigrant committed some fucking crime in bumfuck Egypt, and we'll all get blamed for it. Is that right? No, it's not right. Just like it's not right because some fucking piece of shit was a PDF that we're all to blame for his actions when we're not all like that. That's what I'm saying. You feel me? But and that's got that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem with the world, man. That people can't decipher that. That it's like it's not everybody. But Cesar Chavez, he has a questionable legacy. A little bit of energy. I have some Fred Sinella stories. No, but Cesar Chavez had some questionable legacies. He called Mexicans wetbacks, or at least elite or undocumented immigrants wetbacks in the past. Supposedly, they said he used to call ICE or INS, what it was called back then, on undocumented immigrants, and I guess nobody would be part of those movements. Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because those movements say that you shouldn't put all of us in a box, and what are they doing? Army Street. But back what I was saying, Cesar Chavez, he eventually changed his tone on that. But early on, I don't know if any of you in the chats were ever in a union. I was in a union before, and I never got involved in the union politics as much, but I was in a union. It actually did help me a lot. But when you're in a union, one thing unions hate is when they go on strike, or when a union is getting powerful, they try to bring in what's called strike breakers. You know what I mean? And according to Cesar Chavez, he said that the owners of the farms were bringing in undocumented immigrants as strike breakers, or scabs as they call them too. And that was his reasoning for saying he called ICE on them, or INS at the time, and calling them wetbacks. Well, yeah, that kind of smeared his legacy for sure. And but a lot of people said he changed his tone after that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't like him because he has a questionable legacy. And they were a union that were against the farm, the big landowners, and they were helping Raza farm workers become unionized and get paid a better wage, which is a good thing. Blood of Jesus. I've heard of that channel, but I've never watched it. Chorizo Tube, he got off for a while, didn't he? After Bam Bam and all them made fun of him, he disappeared for a while. But like I said last time, I don't know if you guys seen his lives or some of his videos before he kind of disappeared. He was talking reckless. He was like, I'm from Salinas. I'm from the most hardcore town in the world. We're bulletproof. We're Superman. No one can fade us. I was like, wow. He was starting to damn near sound like what's his name? The homie that got killed. Savage Studios. I don't know if he took those videos down, but you could probably go back and see him. He was just like, what was he saying? We're Spartans. We're real alpha males. Look, man, if that's another thing about toxic masculinity. If you gotta portray or tell people you're an alpha male, you're probably not. You're probably not. Scott with the cap. Little Toro's dead, bro. Not much else to say about him, unfortunately. But Little Toro had issues. He had mental issues. So I'm not excusing him, but there's at least an argument there. This dude, he's supposedly normal, but who knows? My neck, it went to Colombia. Where did yours go? He man his ollies himself up and walks around like dog. You want to suck on my neck? Look, I still got a little bit left. Alpha Beta's not even a human being. To wolves. Do you believe in the Lord? Mine's here, but you're a land monster? Okay. I don't know, I invited him. Wes Watson. That's super alpha male. I know, he wants to see my man boobs and my pubes. What happened to Wes Watson? Is he even still relevant? Is he even still around? I haven't seen nothing about Wes Watson in hella long. Is that guy even around anymore? Little Wes Watson. What's up, Pedro? I saw Doves post something that was what? Arrested again? Was he? Who knows, bro? Oh yeah, Wes Watson. Did he ever go to jail for that beating? Didn't he beat somebody up at a gym or something? Fighting a case. What about that other crash out? What's his name? The Crip dude. Alright, he's crashing out too. What's his name? The dude who got out of jail, the fat dude. The Crip Mac, that guy. Ain't he out of jail too? Crashing out? What do you say? On 5-5 Crip. That guy, they use him as a crash out, bro, to get views. Sad that he don't see it. The plug. Crip Mac, maybe he is a great guy. He's just hanging around the wrong people. But yeah, man. Yeah, but there's all this allegation. I woke up to all this allegation about what's his name, about Cesar Chavez, and but there's really no info of what he's being accused of. It just says there's allegations. So until more stuff comes out, I'll form a better opinion. He grabbed Lena, says. On 5-5. El Crip Mac? Crip the Mac? Is he a Mac though? John Weasel. I was watching a little. Oh, I finally got to watch the interview he did with. Well, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched like half of it of the interview he did with Blue Devil. It was, I mean, I don't know. I don't know him from the streets, and because he was a border brother, and a lot of people I knew were norteños back then from Oakland. We weren't in the same world, so unfortunately, I didn't know. I probably seen him around. Maybe he's seen me around, but I didn't know who he was back then. So and then he said he was in jail for half the time. So he wasn't even around for a lot of the time I was out there. So, but but he says some things I agree and disagree with. I mean, a lot of things I think he got him all right. Like he said, I guess he's original. I didn't know that he was originally Chico Ramos ran me out of Sac. And Chico Ramos probably knows some of my cousins because my cousins used to live around there. Yeah, Border Brothers and Norteños used to be for sure. One thing that John Diesel, at least in the old video, he said was true, is true, was that there weren't really Sureños. It was only Border Brothers and Norteños. That is true. It was like that in Oakland for a long time until like the very late 90s. You started getting the first Sureños. Like there had been Sureños in Oakland before, but they weren't active like that. There was a few here and there. There was a couple dudes from LA that had moved up there, but it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? And the Border Brothers, they were kind of like an Oakland thing. That's why a lot of people outside of Oakland never really knew about them. So he was correct about that. That for the most part, it was an Oakland thing. Because when I was in SAC, I would tell people about the Border Brothers. When I was in SAC, I would tell people about the Border Brothers, and yeah, they thought I was talking about like Bisons, but I was like, nah, there's an actual gang called Border Brothers in Oakland. Remember when Bozo said Southside took over Oakland? I don't know if they ever took over Oakland, but I know, they had a presence there at one point. I only knew of one clique in Oakland that was Sureños. I know there's probably going to be people saying, oh, there was 3 others, maybe, but I only remember one, which was SSL. The only one I remember hearing about. But like he said, I guess he said that he originally from Hatwater. No, but he did say I guess he said that he was originally. I don't know if he said he was born in L.A. He might have said that. I think that he was born in L.A. originally. I think he said that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he said he was born in L.A. and that he lived in a predominantly Latino neighborhood or Mexican neighborhood, and then when he moved to Oakland, it was predominantly black. Especially the time that he moved out here. He said he moved out here mid I guess he moved here in the mid or late 80s. So yeah, Oakland was predominantly black, but there was raza back then for sure. But it was predominantly black at that time. A lot of Asians too back then. That's when a lot of Asians were coming through. Well, yeah, Border Brothers. A lot of people, Border Brothers. I think in prison are a Bison gang, but Border Brothers in Oakland, I think they originated as a Bison gang and then eventually became kind of an Oakland gang. And I think it was spawned from the Border Brothers gang in prison. Because I think Border Brothers, what did he say? That said he's brother in North, but another video says he's 15 something. Yeah, I don't know. But I think the Border Brothers in Oakland spawned from that Border Brothers gang. But I don't know too much the history of the Border Brothers, to be honest with you. I didn't meet any Border Brothers till much later on in life, bro. When I was young, I didn't know any, bro. I was nervous to meet Border Brothers because I thought they weren't gonna like me being around where I grew up around or the people I knew. So I kind of just stayed away. I knew a few. I will admit I knew some upstate Sureños when I was growing up. They didn't call them back then, but I knew a few of them. Not in Oakland. I knew some in Sac, and I knew a couple in. I used to work with one, but I can't remember where he was from. He was cool. Tijuana. Well, there's always been kind of a connection in Tijuana with Oakland, bro. Look at my mom. She came from Tijuana to Oakland. With that red shirt. Man, it ain't the 80s no more. It ain't the 1990s no more, bro. I'm not even wearing red. Who don't speak English? The Water Brothers or? Exactly, it's Coral. I mean, I think the original Water Brothers in Oakland, the street gang, I think originally a lot of them were paisas or Mexicanos or Central Americans. But I think later, it's kind of like the original upstate Sureños, again, what they call them now. A lot of the original ones that I remember were paisas or Mexicanos or raza from across the border. You know, later it began changing, but the early ones, yeah, a lot of them were Mexicanos. They didn't get along with the Norteños. You know, at least the ones I seen. I know there's going to be people saying I'm wrong, but I'm just telling you what I seen and the people I met that I remember. You know. But no, I mean, he wasn't completely wrong. I mean, he talked about that a lot of the Chicano culture got lost in Oakland and that everybody wants to be black in Oakland. Being around the people I've been around, I agree and disagree with that. But that's my own personal opinion. Because I know plenty of dudes who are Waka Raza and plenty of dudes who are Chicano minded for sure in Oakland. You know what I mean? I know a lot of dudes who got involved in organizations that are like Chicano and Latino organizations in Oakland. So, you know, definitely being from a city that was predominantly black, again, you're gonna pick up, a lot of influence in culture. It's just like a black person growing up in a predominantly Chicano area, he's probably gonna pick up a lot of Chicano influence. So it is what it is, man. We live in a melting pot. Remember that. And a lot of us grew up in the hood. We didn't grow up in. A lot of us didn't grow up in in nice neighborhoods or in all raza neighborhoods. Some of us did. Some of us didn't. You know. No, I didn't attend Hawthorne. My brother did. I attended Franklin Elementary. Out there in Funktown. I attended Lazier for a little bit too, and I attended a school in the Deep on Malcolm called it was called John Marshall back then, but now it's called Thurgood Marshall. Well, no, my brother attended Hawthorne. My brother kind of looks like me a little bit, so maybe you're confusing me with him. My sister attended Hawthorne too, and El Centro Infantil. I went to El Centro when I was little. If you guys remember that, you guys are. If any of you from Oakland remember that. And no, I didn't go to Fremont High. Free Diddy. Did you go to school with the Parkins? No, my grandma. They were older than me, bro. My brothers knew them. I feel sorry for your brother. No, my brother knew the Parkins. The Parkins were older than me. I met Carlos. I met his sister too. I forget her name. Yeah, but now my brother, he was my brother was older than me, so he knew them. On Fruitvale, what? Central? Central was on 27th and East 16th, not far from Mitchell. Franklin Elementary shortcuts. That's where the Chino with no shoes chased my homie. There was a lot of Asians over there, bro. They used to get into it with the Latinos sometimes. We got into a fight with some Asians one time there. Oh, okay. I grew up around Fruitvale. I'm from Fruitvale, not the gang. I'm from the Fruitvale neighborhood. Yeah. Yeah, 'cause they used to funk with North of that Fremont. Yeah, I remember, bro. I remember when they used to funk with the East 15th dudes back in the days. I think it'd be dope if they have a World Cup out here. You know, have the Super Bowl out here. Yeah, I remember shortcuts when I was at Franklin. Don't so never see me in the hood. Did you know the Val Valadez? Valadez, possibly, bro. You remember La Fortuna? Used to be right there on cross street from the Alpines. Did you know Angel Lopez? He used to live in the Alpine. That's my cousin. No, I didn't hear about that. I think you told me about that or something like that. Bipolar. Hey, Dr. Feelgood, you remember, I always see if anyone remembers, you remember a Cuban guy that used to do taxes right next door to Jorge El Tapatío? And I think his name was Don Bello. You remember him? The Cuban dude. He was there for hella years. He didn't get enough signatures. I mean, anyone can run for city council. I don't think, you remember him, Shortcut? Yeah, I remember my mom used to get her taxes done there all the time. But a lot of people don't remember him, and hella people from the hood used to go there. I mean, anyone can run for city council, bro. Racists can run, gay or straight, PDF. I don't know if there's a law against PDFs running. Do you know Frankie Leyva, his mom owned a store on 39 and East 12? You know what? That sounds like that sounds familiar, bro. I do remember a store on 39 and East 12. Did they used to sell tamales there? Like on the weekend, didn't that store used to have tamales? If it's the place I'm thinking of, I could be wrong, but I remember it was a little store and some ladies used to own it, and they would sell tamales. Might be the same store. And there was another store on right by yeah, that's the same spot. There was a restaurant there called La Morena, right? Like 39 and East 12. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, yeah. I can't. Maybe I knew the owner's son. I can't remember. Remember, I'm more familiar with faces sometimes than names. And then I left Oakland when I was like 14, and I came back when I was 18. Yeah, I was 18. Was I 18 or 7? I can't fucking remember. I'm hella old. But 17, 18 roughly. So some people I knew and some people I didn't know. I lost contact with a few people. Oh yeah, Willie Brown's Liquor, I remember. Across the street, the old library, the Spanish-speaking library. What was it called? like Latin American library. Are you old enough to remember? I vaguely remember it. Like the liquor store on 41st and Foothill. Back in the days. Do you remember? I want anyone remembers this. If you lost contact with people, it should be easily now to reconnect. Oh yeah, I've reconnected with a lot of people on social media that I used to know back in the days. In Oakland and Sac and Vallejo too. I used to live in Vallejo for a little bit. I went to Hamilton Junior High and went. Oh, so you're old school, bro. If you're still calling it Hamilton, you're from the OG days. So you probably remember, and I have a vague memory of it, bro. At grocery on Broadway. Bro, I remember when grocery outlet on Broadway used to be Safeway. I bet you guys don't remember that. Oh yeah, you're older than me and my brother, because my brother I'm 48. My brother he's like 58. Well, you're closer to age with my brother then. You remember when the Walgreens on Foothill and Fruitvale used to be Safeway? I remember, like, vaguely, like a vague memory of it. I was hella little, though. I remember it being Safeway, and then it was something else, and it became Walgreens. The business. With the coral shirt. Maybe you knew my brother, bro. Or both of my brothers. They're older. My older brother's more closer to your age. 'Cause I have a brother who's 59 and my other brother's like 57 or 58. Well, says Dave's age. Yeah, I guess I am close to his age. Anybody remember the Fruitvale Playhouse? That was a little movie theater where they used to show kids movies. That's how you know you're old school. Jay was the bag boy to work at where? S&P. Yeah, I remember it was a Safeway, bro, and then I remember it was another grocery store for a while. I can't remember what it was called. And then it became Walgreens. Like it closed and it was abandoned for like a couple months, and then it became Walgreens. I can't believe I remember that. I was hella fucking little back then. I remember my mom used to wash a lot. There was a washing, I think it's still there, a laundromat place. The old store on 25. I'm at Cuerdo, bro. In 25th and where? No, but I remember my mom used to wash across the street from Walgreens, and we used to always be hanging out there in that little area all the time back in the days. East 14th and 25th, I think I know where you're talking about. 22nd. Are you talking about the old grocery store that used to be on across by where McDonald's is? That was a food farm. Food farm, and then across the street was Standard Paint. If that's what you're talking about. That's when I went to Oakland. The homeless encampment had a whole plant store. Yeah, the old movie theater. The guy used to let his kids watch movies for free. Yeah, the old man. I remember. I used to still see him around, bro. Like maybe like 15 years ago, I used to always see him walking around by the Fruitvale bar station. He was hella old already. I don't know if he's still alive now. It's AutoZone? Which one? Hell, he used to wear glasses and he was kind of chubby. an older white guy. I remember him. Oh, wasn't that MB Market? I know Dr. Feelgood remembers MB Market. I remember the Geek, they had a lot of those. Yeah, that was MB Market, wasn't it? Must have been something else then after I left. Chubby with no teeth. I don't remember he didn't have teeth, but I remember he was a chubby dude with glasses. Maybe it became something else afterwards. But yeah, I remember it was called MB, at least when I was a kid. I remember going in there a couple times when I was hella little. You going to still cheer for the... I never was much of a Raiders fan. I was always an A's fan for sure, and I like the Warriors. I still like the Warriors. I'm still okay with the A's, but they disappointed me. It might have been called S&P Market, maybe afterwards. I remember when you went up Fruitvale, it's a little Mexican store now. It's like going towards, what's that street called? Like up past Foothill. He always showed Gary. Yeah, I remember for a while he was showing like Cholo movies too, bro. He started showing like Boulevard Nights and Zoot Suit. I remember because we went and seen him like in the late '80s when I was a little kid, bro. We went a couple times. But okay, so past Foothill, when you go up Fruitvale, going towards MacArthur, there's a Mexican store. I forget what street is that. Is that a... Fuck, bro. God damn it, my mind is going blank. I think it's past East 27th. It's on the right hand side if you're going up towards MacArthur. I think it's called Mi Tierra now. It was another store back then. It was just a regular grocery store because I remember going in there with my mom. It was called like Black and White Market or something like that. What was the first time? I seen it when it came out, bro. I went to see it when I went to see it with my brother, bro. Because hella people we knew was on it. Where did I see it? I think I seen it at the Coliseum Drive-In, bro, with my brother. Everett Jones. Yeah, like a little bit past that though. It's like a little grocery store. Yeah, hella people were excited because it was made in Oakland, and hella people from the hood were in there. Yeah, I think I seen it at the Coliseum Drive-In, if I remember, with my brother. We went to go see it. My mom let us use the car, and we went to go see it. Maybe my brother's girlfriend might have been with us too. I can't remember, but we went and seen it, and we were like, "Oh shit! Look, there's Juan." We were talking about little Juan from 36. No, I just remember that store before it was a Mexican store. I think it's called Mi Tierra now. It was like a regular grocery store when I was a kid. I remember going in there with my mom. I think it was called like Black and White Market or something like that. My family was really big soccer. We would go to... Oh yeah, Raimundi. Yeah, my brother used to go to that, bro, when he was little. Yeah, I remember going to Raimundi Park when I was hella little. Right across the street from the old Amtrak station. Oh, come on, bro. I was with my brother, bro. What the fuck kind of shit is that? I was a little kid then. I was like fucking 10 years old or 11 years old. Family was really big in soccer. But yeah, bro. But yeah, yeah, it was 87, so I was about 10 when that came out, bro. Is Oakland going to tear down the Coliseum? I don't know. Good question. I know the Oakland Roots are using it. But yeah, man. So where's everybody else at, man? I'm probably gonna tap out soon. I gotta get back to the house. I don't really do lives in my house as much as I used to because I get tired of people telling me, "Oh, don't be loud late at night and shit." So, Groot season. I've never been to a game. I'd like to go check it out. Utah, damn, that's hella far. Too much vibrations. Well, my car's on. I haven't even turned off my car. But yeah. But yeah, the principal. I was little when that came out. I remember going to see Colors. We snuck out to see it because my dad didn't want to let me go see it, and me and my brother went to go see it at the Eastmont Mall. We seen it at the Four Star Theater back in the days. I was probably when that came out. I was probably like 11 or 12 when Colors came out. And I guess I don't know too much about Al Mencho. I heard about him. I heard supposedly he used to live in the Bay Area. King of the Hill? Funny. It was from the same dude that made from Mike Judge. The dude that made Beavis and Butthead. Did you guys like Beavis and Butthead when it came out? I thought the first time I seen it, I thought it was hella stupid and retarded, but after a while, it kind of grew on me. It was kind of funny. And I think another cartoon came out of Beavis and Butthead too. I think it was Daria. I think there was a cartoon called Daria. When it first came out, it was hella retarded, bro. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then as it started getting better, it got funnier. I remember people used to smoke weed. They used to smoke mall theater. Oh yeah, I'm sure they did. I can't remember if they were smoking when I was there, but it wouldn't surprise. Hey Arnold. I remember hearing about that cartoon, but I was too old already when that came out. I think my nephew used to watch that cartoon. I remember the Rugrats. I remember my nephews used to watch that. But yeah, Beavis and Butthead, when that came out, I was already a teenager. I was older. Not older, but I was like 15, 16. But yeah, that shit was funny back then. And they came out with that dumb movie about it. Well, King of the Hill was pretty funny. I haven't seen that in hella long. I used to watch that back in the days. Dude, where's my car? You know, I didn't see that movie till way later on in life. I didn't see it when it came out. I was a little bit. I think I'd seen it maybe a year or two after it came out. Did you watch Romeo Must Die and at the movies? You know what, bro? I think I might have, bro. I can't remember though, but I think I might have went to see it, maybe. That one was with what? With Jackie Chan, right? Or who was in it? I remember it was a karate dude in it. I think Aaliyah was in it, right? I might have. I can't remember, bro. I did see it for sure, but I can't remember if I seen it in the theater or not. Boomhauer. What a Boomhauer. Yeah, man. How do you talk? Yeah, man. They gotta go do that thing, man. Everybody click, 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 click. Jet Li. Okay. Yeah, I could. I know it was some Chino. Booty Talk. Booty Talk. I don't remember that movie. Was that a porno? I remember Booty Call. Wasn't there a movie called Booty Call? Polar bears. But yeah, man. Panther. Which one? The one about the Black Panthers? The old one? The one that came out in the 90s, right? I think I might have seen that one in the theaters, actually. But I can't remember if I was still living in Sac or if I was living here. Oh, yeah, Jingletown and East 7th Street, all those areas I grew up around, bro. That's where I grew up, around Jingletown, East 7th Street. It was nothing when I lived there, bro. It was just industrial areas with a few houses. Nobody even wanted to live down there, bro. Only the raza. Yeah, that shit now is all gentrified. Yeah, I think the Panther movie I did see in the theater. I just can't remember if I was already here in the Bay or if I was still living in Sac when I seen it. I definitely remember seeing it on VHS here in the Bay, but uh, JT, that's where it comes from. Yeah. Oh, Made in America. I told you that story before. I was living in Sac, and I went to go see it because it was made in Oakland. I was missing Oakland, so that's why I went to go see the movie. I seen it in the theater out there in Sac. I took my homie, and I was pointing like, "Hey, bro, that's Lake Merritt." He didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I remember I was hell excited in the movie theater because I seen all these places that I remembered, bro. And my homie was like, I took Don Suave. Nah, I took my homie Brandon. He's from the Bay too, but he was living in Sac, but he didn't know Oakland that well. So I was like pointing out places that I knew when they were showing them in the movie. I was like, look, that's Lake Merritt, bro. It's a big lake in the middle of Oakland. And I was pointing out Broadway when they showed Broadway and they showed certain streets on there. Yeah, but I was for sure living in Sac when Made in America came out. Yeah, it was corny, but it was funny though. Will Smith, a lot of people forget Will Smith was on that movie. I was young when that came out because that was what, like 92 when it came out? 92 or 93, something, or 91. Well, had to have been 92 or 93 for sure. Because I had just moved to Sac when it came out. Yeah, Nia Long, yep. It could have been 93. I was in Sac when Menace to Society came out. Whoopi and Ted. I was also in Sac when Blood In, Blood Out came out. And American Me, so I was out there for that. And Mi Vida Loca, because I remember seeing Mi Vida Loca in the downtown movie theater in Sacramento, like K Street. Which one? I remember going to see that movie Half Baked with Dave Chappelle at the Grand Lake Theater. Also, I seen Fridays 2 at the Grand Lake. Fridays 1, I can't remember where I seen it. I can't remember if I seen it in Sac or I seen it out here because it came out around the time that I moved back to the Bay. I might have seen it in Sac though, the first Fridays. I might have went to see it at the theater in Sac. I can't remember though. Nah, I seen Movie La Loca when it came out in the theaters, bro. We went to go see it. It was playing in the movie theater in downtown Sac, and we went to go. Me and my homie chick. That same homie that went with me to see Made in America came to see it. We came to see it. That was another place I recognized. I recognized a few places because I told you my family lives in Echo Park. I've been through Echo Park when I was young. I've been there a few times. Been a long time since I've been out there though. Gooch's favorite American Me. I thought he loved Blood In, Blood Out. Bro, you know what? You want to hear some shit? I don't know if Shortcuts knew this. The KFC on 35th and Foothill's gone, bro. They closed it. I was driving by there and it was closed. I was like, what the hell? It was open the last time I went by there. But yeah, it was gone, bro. Yeah, the KFC, that should have been there forever. It wasn't on 35th. It was actually on 34th, I think. But yeah, it was gone the last time I drove by it. Yeah. Nah, but the one right there had been there for hella years. Nah, but this was recent, Dr. Feelgood, because it was for sure still there about a year ago. That I know for a fact. Also, the one in the Deep closed too. The one by 98th and East 14. I think it's a hyphy burger now. Remember, there's one. That one's been there forever. I think it's still there. There was one in Alameda, right by the AMPM, off of Park and I think SNL. It used to be kind of hidden. There used to be a KFC there. I remember going there when I was a little kid. I went once. It was okay, bro. I'd have to try it again. From KFC. Yeah. Yeah, that KFC has been there for hella years. Been there since I was a kid. Mi barrio ya no existe. Yeah, but hey, y'all, I'm gonna tap out. I've been on here for about an hour. I gotta get back to the house anyway. But I just want to come on and say what's up to everybody. I want to try to keep the high fever ghetto as fuck. Yeah, hidden off Park Street. I think it's still there though on Park Street. I remember going to that one too a lot when we were little because it was we lived close. We lived on East 7th Street, so we lived right next to Alameda, right on the border. But yeah, I'm an old man, viejito. But yeah, you guys be safe. Just wanted to tap in and say what's up to everybody. Nice warm day in the Bay Area, which is something rare around this time. Usually it's cold as hell around this time. But I'm going to the Blade. But all right, Dr. Feelgood. Well, nice to meet you. Feel free to come back to the channel whenever you want, especially if you're from the town. But yeah, I'm Blanding. Well, it wasn't on Blanding. It was on Park and Encinal, I think. But yeah, we used to live right by Blanding, right across the bridge. But yeah. All right, y'all. Well, I'll talk to you guys later. You guys be safe. Later.